What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy King Gabe.
And this is Queen Tina.
And you sounded just like, that kind of remind me of the Cat in the Hat review this thing.
Oh, the way I sound?
Yeah,
It just came out of me.
Well, with a movie like this, I can see why.
Oh.
I can see if you're coming out like this with this movie we're about to get into, I might get blasted through that window when if we do the mask in the future.
The first one?
Yeah, it'd be like remember like the Peanuts game whenever they would all of a sudden say something real loud and the other kid go flipping around.
Yeah.
That's it.
And he fell? Even though the kid was mad at first and annoyed?
Yeah. Yeah, be something like that. Oh boy. Well, speaking of cartooniness, Son of the Mask. Like, you are such a son of the mask. Imagine Samuel Jackson saying that line.
At least it's better than the son of a
the other.
Yeah.
As Woody say, we would say the other one, but there are preschool toys present. Yeah, so okay, much like the sequel, they wanted the first Mask movie was PG-13 because it was definitely made more adult like, but they put with the Mask character in there. They did like, okay, yeah, you can bring your kids, but this is more we just want you to know this is more for the adults. So don't just let your kids run in and unsupervised.
I think they're supposed to base the first Mask movie on the comic, the original comic, even though the original comic is darker, but the movie version is sort of comedical. Right,
yeah. Oh boy, that comic, that would have been an R-rated film. Probably it would have even been darker. The first Mask is actually like a PG-13 Deadpool.
Imagine they did a reboot of The Mask and going by the original comic, and it will have an R rating. They
might, with the fact that I put it this way, I mentioned when we were taking notes about what if, like Loki from this movie, Son of the Mask, was in the MCU. If they, that they about to do a Deadpool 3 movie and that's supposed to slide into the MCU with Wolverine and all that, and they're supposed to do some R-rated stuff now in the MCU, if they add the Mask character some kind of way, that could be a possibility. I don't know exactly how that would work because the Mask was part of DC Comics, but yeah, technically, if you pull some strings, they could make that. I would hope they could make that work because the Loki series, talking about variants and all that. Just imagine Tom Hiddleston meets Alan
Cummings, yeah.
Yeah, Alan Cummings.
In another universe.
Right, the two of them in the Loki series. Since you had a whole bunch of Lokis in the series.
To be honest, when I saw the Loki series, I didn't have no interest, and I thought it would just suck. That's my opinion. I thought it would just suck and be boring.
No, mostly because the Office stuff probably would. The Office stuff is kind of dragging. They had them in the Office for so long in the first few episodes of the series because my former co-writer we watched it because we were looking at that series. It's like, will y'all please get out of the dang office and stop showing the dang alligator.
I guess the only best part in the Loki series was the alligator. At least I got a laugh of that.
Yeah, like I say, it did, much like all the Marvel series. It did pick up, and like I say, it did really show stuff about the multiverse. You just got to get past those Office episodes. That's a lot of anybody like what she just mentioned.
Yeah.
When it first came out, that's probably what was the thing that probably turned off a lot of people was the Office scene. Yeah, so that's the thing. You gotta Gotta get through that to get, and make sure you have a good audio when you watch the series there too. So, cause that way you can at least hear what they're saying in that office there, and make sure you have some coffee too.
Oh, to keep you up.
Cause then you'll miss some, and then you'll wonder in a future Marvel movie, wait, when did that happen? It was back in the Loki series when you fell asleep. So anyway, with that Loki, now we're going with the Loki here, and the movie we're about to talk about, Son of the Mask. As the devil said in the critics' review, bring me Son of the Mask. I got rid of it. What? Huh? Oh boy, so dive right into this. Yep. So, oh, and also just letting you guys know, it will probably our next Royal Talk. I'm not gonna say what it is yet, but it will be for Halloween, because after this, yeah, I'm gonna try to be really trying to work some more with my comics. I'll still bring you some other videos along with updates, you know, because there are other videos I do want to do, you know, She-Hulk, maybe possibly a couple of those history videos, like like Digimon and stuff like that, and even more Yu-Gi-Oh manga. But there definitely will be more comic updates between this and the next World Talk. So, and letting you guys know, we kind of say, yeah, because one thing about us doing reviews like this as opposed to doing Brownny Reactions, yeah, we ain't trying to do like the story subplot and all that. We just review the movie. So we do it when we do it. Yeah, that was the, yeah, I saved my story writing for the comics. Yeah. All right. As well as her with Bubbalina. Make sure y'all buy those comics. They're only $7 each. So anywho, so the movie starts off, of course, in Edge City.
Now, Edge City reminds me of Gotham City. I guess when people haven't seen the title of the movie, they might be thinking they walked into a Batman film until they see the text Edge City. Like, what? This is not Gotham? And walk out.
Maybe Batman was visiting it. Maybe Batman had to do some work over there.
Yeah.
Maybe he had to team up with Green Arrow over there or something.
In Edge City?
Yeah. Hey Batman, I'm going over to Edge City. I gotta take over a special mission. You wanna come?
Edge City, the city that is always on edge. Get it?
Some of the people who did not enjoy this movie too well were on edge.
Yeah.
And also, speaking of that, shout out to Jamie Kennedy for this, who, you know, is the big star of this sequel. Shout out to him. You definitely gotta make sure he has his own YouTube channel, Jamie Kennedy. Definitely check him out if you can. Definitely sign up on his Patreon too, and you'll be able to say, and on his channel and on his Patreon, which is a more detailed, you see a lot of stuff that he talks about with this movie and his experience in it. He even has the director himself in on some of the videos. Apparently, even both him and director had a different vision for this movie before the studio changed. Because I think originally they wanted to have, you know, PG-13 like the first Mask, but the studio sort of screwed them over there.
And we were able to see Jamie Kennedy in person at the GeekCon 2 months ago.
Oh yeah, because I did. Yeah, I see the GeekCon photos on here. Yeah, he was. Matter of fact, because I had Brownny with me that day, we took the picture. He's like, "Who's that?" Like, Brownny. Yeah, and that was how how it came about, you know, with the comics and stuff, because, you know, Brownny's a part of them there. Yeah, and one of the things he said when I handed him one of my cousins, he said, "Hey, I check you out. You check me out. Jamie Kennedy on YouTube." So, and they say, like Loki said with that hourglass, "Oh, let me sync up." So yeah, good, really good to know that he was. You know, I really like that fact. You know, that to find out. You know that Jamie Kennedy had a different vision of this movie. So Jay, he probably has to say he probably agrees with a lot of the critics about the movie. Yeah. So, of course, you don't get no Jim Carrey, Cameron Diaz, because of course, you know, Jamie Kennedy.
Yes.
But you do get one character from the first movie, and he has an epic turn. Norse mythology. I'm Benzai.
Ben Stein.
Ben Stein. It doesn't really matter. Yes. Oh boy, the one that just. You know.
I think in the first movie he was a psychiatrist, but in the Son of Mask he's a tour guide.
Well, there was some time passed.
Yeah.
So we follow him. You know, everybody they're touring around Norse mythology, the museum, explaining to him about Odin and his son, and one thing that came to my mind when you talk about Odin being the Allfather. I was like, wait a minute, isn't Zeus supposed to be over all the lowercase g mythology gods? The king of the gods and stuff. And now you say Odin, okay, technically they say Odin is over the Norse gods. So would Odin be under Zeus still? Is he is that sort of like the equivalent, like say Zeus is like the store manager and Odin is one of the department heads, the Norse mythology department head? Is that how they run it there?
I'm not sure.
Makes you wonder if Odin and Zeus ever had any fights with each other over their titles, especially with both of them throwing lightning.
Lightning fight?
You better watch out for it, throw a can of lightning at you.
I know Ben Stein mentioned about Loki as the god of mischief, Thor as the god of thunder, and another god named Balder, the god of beauty. Even though Balder's male.
Yeah, I think of anyone over beauty, I would think of a goddess.
Like Aphrodite?
Yeah.
Or Athena?
Yeah, any of the goddesses, being over beauty, because, you think of a guy in this sense, you think of terms like handsome and charming, debonair, stuff like that.
Maybe they should call Balder the god of charm.
Okay, that could work. Charm. Or even, and also another thing that could work could be maybe the god of divinity or something or divineness.
Oh.
God of divineness.
Oh.
Like for example, say, Sharp and debonair. Which also could be sharp and divine. One of the Sharon Creech books I've read back in school and still have here at the house, Absolute Normal Chaos. One of the main characters' best friend Beth Ann described her boyfriend Derek as divine, and the main character Mary Lou was like, ah.
I guess some people may feel the same way and calling guys beautiful. Especially the ladies, they call guys beautiful, like the ladies.
Yeah, and I know it's not, I know it's not technically meaning, something like that in there. It's sort of like how, the Flintstones, like they have, we'll have a gay old time, and they mean happy, of course. And that's originally what that word means there, and we took it and made it something.
It take place in the 60s.
Right. So okay, yeah, I get that, and then like you read old, really old books and stuff like that, that take place like years ago. They will say stuff like, the beauty of so and so who happens to be a he, and not necessarily mean, not necessarily mean anything by it.
Or a breastplate.
Yes, when they talk about the armor, because of the way stuff was designed back then for the knights and stuff, breastplate, or as Thor say, the feeling in my breast, and I've run out of things to say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but
I know that sound opera.
yeah, it really. I just can't get behind that. There, it's like okay, we're guys, and the feeling in my chest. I am so handsome.
He should have said that.
Yeah, but would say I'm not sure exactly how they would take this term in their mythology books, but you could also say the god of handsomeness.
Oh.
Just saying something. Since he's a dude,
Oh. Imagine a female god is called Bald.
I don't think she would be too wild with that name.
Bald.
Need I refer you to Neptune's daughter in SpongeBob? One day you will win. I'm gonna be bald? Ding, ding, ding. Yeah, I don't think that's gonna go over well with a lot of ladies. Yeah, and I know Wakanda, the Doji, that's the thing. And yeah, some do. I know today's time, Wakanda or not, that has become a style with some ladies, just clean shave head. Still as they make themselves look pretty good, Okay, that's you do you. But and that back then, I don't think that would have been so fly back then, though, because the whole thing we're gonna be like Wakanda and Doji, I don't think would have went over back then like it does. See now, anything goes now. Most anything goes, But yeah, that's kind of the how I feel on that Balder thing. Maybe knows in the MCU we didn't see that. Instead, we saw Thor, Loki, and Hela, who was the black sheep sister of the family, causing Ragnarok. Also, as we go further in it, they start talking about Loki. I sort of. Now, I don't have anything. Now, trust me. Tom Hiddleston is a good Loki in the MCU, real good in the MCU. Does a good job. Does a great job. Especially and the fangirls would definitely agree. Especially in the second movie when he was in chains. But I just kind of looking back at this movie. I kind of wonder what it would have been like if we had Alan Cunning as the MCU Loki. Especially with the powers he showed up when he first entered the movie, with the green face, looking like he's a fan of the band Kiss.
Oh man, that was Michael Jackson because he wore that hat.
Oh, but Smooth
That's Loki.
It'd be like a black suit version of the Smooth Criminal. You've been struck by a smooth criminal.
Michael Jackson Loki.
And he does that, as the lightning and stuff comes out. Yeah, but that would be pretty interesting to see there. But yeah, like I mentioned earlier, maybe they might reference something like that. You never know. So, and also said, what was it? Also, I'm kind of I guess because we're in a different universe, this ain't the MCU, but maybe he didn't mention it. I guess in this universe, Loki is, which I think maybe that's how the original myth was. They're all blood related, Loki, Thor, and Balder, whatever. But in the MCU, Loki was, as Thor saying, he's adopted. So, and that is son of a ice giant. Wouldn't that would be kind of interesting if they had that logic in this movie. Yeah, of course, then he probably would have some ice powers too there. which for some reason he only used in the first Thor movie and not anywhere else.
The ice power.
Mm-hmm. Anywho, but then of course, when Loki appears, as the critics say, yeah, you would kind of think everybody freaking out with all the lightning and stuff, as the Lorax say, with all the lightning and stuff. Yeah, how is it that Benzai doesn't come out of that dull tone of his and have some big reaction? At least that be one scene where he could emote.
I guess that's the only part of him that spark him more, just boring.
Yeah, even a dull person would have been like, oh. I mean, you take like Droopy, who actually is really humorous for that tone of his more. You know what? I'm happy. But of course, remember when he got all that money for that bullfight?
He's excited.
Yeah, he jumped up for a moment. I'm happy. You know what? That makes me mad. So, yeah, so Loki, of course, is all upset, and yeah, the only reaction we get from Benzai is like, perhaps you don't agree with my theories. Yeah, I'd be trying to get the heck out of there with the rest of the tour after I see all that. And he gets upset that the mask is a fake, throws it at Benzai. Oh.
If it was me, the mask being thrown at me, I would say, ouch!
Probably, and you probably
what's the big idea?
That's what I was about to say. You probably would have snapped at him. Yeah. Then another reaction that Benzai should have come out of his dullness with is having his face pulled off. Oh, what are you doing? What was happening? Where's my body?
I would say, hey, what's happening? What are you doing? Where's my body? Where the hell's my body?
That's a better reaction there.
I want my body back.
And then your body would probably be running into stuff there because you can't see. Because your face is looking this way, so your body don't know where to go.
Hey, come here.
Come find me. Come find me. Okay. What are you doing?
I guess they'll be all day.
I wonder they Double Toast didn't mention how some of the lines in this movie were dubbed. I wonder if some of Benzai's lines were dubbed.
Well, when he's maybe either at a distance or when his face is not shown.
Oh, like when he's like this.
Yeah.
And now let's go see the mask.
Yeah.
I don't have to move my mouth because I'm not facing the camera. You barely move it even when we see you move your mouth. So, and then of course just before Loki leaves and screams, "Where's my mask?" Let's just say he does something that has more of an impact than one of 4Kids' dubs.
What?
The finger guns.
At least they're able to shoot.
Yeah. Yeah, the guards at Yu-Gi-Oh! Weren't that fortunate there. Stop, or we'll shoot you with our invisible guns. Because 4Kids dubbed them out of the Japanese version.
Yeah.
So, it's gonna look like you're jumping out of a window at us pointing at you. Oh no! The guards are pointing at me. Yeah, and before y'all go in that comment section and say, well, I'm not making fun of Yu-Gi-Oh! Remember, this is not little Karibo's show here. I'm basically pointing out a constructive criticism of that particular flaw. Yes, there are constructive criticisms that still can be made to the series without being mean-spirited toward it. Just like what we're doing with this movie, you know. This movie's actually is a guilty pleasure for us there, but there are flaws. Yeah. So then, of course, we're introduced to Tim Avery, which is, of course, a ripoff of Tech Avery.
And we all know where the real mask is at, in a town called French City. Now, French City remind me of Metropolis.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I guess if people went at this part of the movie, they might think it might be a Superman movie because that city almost look like Metropolis.
The city part, and then you go in the suburbs area. It makes you think of a little bit of Smallville, except it's the suburbs and not the country though.
Oh, I know. I know Smallville took place in the country.
Right, so I guess it's like a suburbs version of Smallville. So, of course, with they're over at the Tim and his wife are over at the neighbor's house, who has a bunch of kids over there, and it's like, so when are you guys gonna have yours? Right after Tim just got bashed between his legs by a headbutt from one of the kids.
Ow.
Very super effective headbutt. Ow. Yeah. Yeah.
And the kid just runs normally, nonchalantly.
Yeah, I don't think Tim would really have much to say as far as wanting a kid after that happening. And now me personally, how I look at it, anybody like me, you know, I look at the situation, because, you know, we definitely want to get us a kid next year. But trust me, even if we were in, of course that's for the movie, but in real life, if we was in that position,
yeah,
I still would go, because the way I look at it, that's the neighbor's kids. Now, I don't know, because see, things in that household, we have no idea how they going when we're not there, so that's a whole different ball field. That's between them and their kids. So we can't really base any other kids or our kids off of that. So, but of course, you know, movie's got a movie. As he's playing his game, like, you know what? After seeing those kids, Drano sounds like a good idea. By the way, I have this over my mouth because I'm really being dubbed. Ooh. So, yeah, I was directed just to play my game and look at my wife, and then I went back and dubbed it. Now, one thing I think Double Toasted mentioned, that maybe some of the scenes he actually did say something for real there, and maybe when they were, you know, editing and stuff, maybe they told him to redo some of the lines. So maybe that was a re-edited dub there. Maybe that's why, you know, it came out that way on some of them there. And yeah, and like I mentioned before, yeah, this movie originally was supposed to be going in a different direction, but studio got into the biz, and well, again, when you see Jamie Kennedy's channel and his videos on this, you'll hear what him and the director have to say about this. And I will put the link to his channel and that video in the description box there, so you guys can check it out. So, of course, Wifey is a little upset about the fact that Tim doesn't want to have a baby right now. And it's pretty clear to the audience of why he feels the way that, you know, what we saw earlier with the other kids. Of course, there's another reason too, which I feel like he should have mentioned earlier, but maybe he didn't think to say it until now, you know, because, you know, his mind was probably on other things or whatever. But he wants to try to move up in his job, because he's been at this animation studio. He's actually been to school to be a trained, you know, he mentioned he's a trained animator and everything, been to school for it and everything. And he's put in 10 years at this studio, having it, and I don't know if he was doing 10 years as the Torpedo Turtle, but that's what he's doing at the moment in the costume there. Hey, boys and girls, I'm Torpedo Turtle.
If only that was a Ninja Turtle.
That'd be a Ninja Turtle that sounds like Mickey Mouse for some reason. Watch it, Warner Brothers. I'm watching you. Don't make us buy you. we already bought Fox and we bought Sony. well, we're working on that. But we already bought Universal. Well, I think we bought Universal because we got the Hulk series. Yeah, you know they bought Star Wars. So and Pixar. Yeah. So
Heck, why not buy the entire empire? Buy an empire.
Well, they pretty much are an empire. They buy other empires to make them bigger.
What's next? They're gonna buy Warner Brothers, Universal. What else? You got Warner Brothers, you got Universal.
And they already got Fox.
Fox. I don't know.
Shoot, they might be working their way up to HBO.
Heck, what's next? They're gonna buy Google.
Well, Mark Beeks did it. Hi, I'm DuckTales' version of Google and Disney together.
We know Google already bought YouTube.
So I guess it's Google too. So of course, yeah, he explains that he wants to try to move up and actually, do like his own show, be a big time animator, and he wants the kid to, in order for, yay, okay, look, honey, okay, so you really want a kid. I'm just being honest. Maybe I'm not completely on board, more with it at the moment, but if I do this with you, for you, let me move up in life, so the kid can, because you moved up, honey. You're the head boss at your place there. I want that way you can have something great to tell about me, instead of, oh, my dad's just wearing a turtle suit. Which, to be honest, nothing wrong with wanting to evolve and do that. Yeah, all of us want to move up. So that's nothing against that. But as far as the turtle thing, you realize how much you could save doing your kid's birthday party since you already have a costume?
Yes. It wouldn't surprise me if you worked at Chuck E. Cheese as the mascot.
That'd probably be a good little side change to what he's already working.
Yeah, working at Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah, and yeah, I know it probably, not literally saying they would pay him in change, but compared to probably where he's working, I don't know what he's making off of the animation to what he does there. But I would assume, being the type of place that is, he's probably making a little bit more than a person probably would make at Chuck E. Cheese there. Or any, in the Chuck E. Cheese, stuff like that there. Yeah. And then, and of course, we do get a scene of Otis, instead of Milo. Milo and Otis.
I know, I think Double Toast mentioned about the two dogs, Milo and Otis, based on a film called Milo and Otis, about a cat and a dog.
Yeah, that movie, yeah.
It looks like a really old film.
Sort of in the ranks with movies like Homeward Bound and stuff.
Yeah. I think that's way before Homeward Bound, I guess.
Oh, dang.
Look like from the 80s, I guess. And Homeward Bound's like 90s. Late 80s, early 90s, something like that.
Probably, yeah. So, then, so of course, Odin, that's right. So Otis actually found that mask, that drifted in the river from the first movie, and just as he brings it to Tim, we get a shot of Odin fussing at Loki. Loki! That is one of the that close up. Or Loki. I close his eyes and everything. I think he's not now. Get this: Bob Hawkins, who plays him, His scenes are short in this movie, but I think that's probably why he put so much emphasis in it, because he's like, look, for the little bit I'm in this movie, I'm gonna say, I'm gonna put my all into this.
It's like he's gonna eat somebody.
Hey, if that's what it takes for me to put my all in it, if I gotta be on Schwarzenegger, I'll do my way, children. I keep you, Loki. He's like, oh boy. That was actually pretty funny the way it was played in the critics' review, especially when he tried to do that Austin Powers cutaway, and then all of a sudden, it's almost like Odin was mad that he played that. Also, Odin's throne room, the way they show it there, it almost made me think of Thanos' area in when the first time Thanos was shown in Guardians of the Galaxy after the post-credit of Avengers movie. Yeah, that throne Thanos was sitting in the chair. Hey, it's not my time.
Then when is your time?
Soon, it will come. Why don't you get up off that chair now? Why don't you get up off that chair and do something about it? Oh boy. Almost remind me of that DuckTales thing with the mummies. Come up here so I can smite you. Why don't you come down here and smite me? No, you come up here and smite me. Just say you come up here. So, just imagine, and what I mentioned about imagine if Loki was in the MCU from this movie. Imagine this version of Odin snapping at Thor when Thor disobeyed him and went to fight the frost giants. Thor's son! I strip from you your powers. I got you out. Take your hammer and I realms. You are out. Yeah, I think he would probably quote that faster. So, yeah, and this leads to a major plot hole in this movie involving with Odin and Loki. Okay, so it's said that Loki made this mask and he cast it down to Earth thousands of years ago to cause mischief among the mortals. So I guess Loki can sit back and laugh at us goofing around with the mask. Now so Odin's sending him down to retrieve the mask, as he say, because Loki mentioned like, well, why don't you use that all-seeing eye of yours to tell me what the mask is? This is your mess, and you will clean it up. Okay, so he wants Loki to do to clean up his own mess. Okay, why in the world would Loki have made this thing and he can't even find it? This is a magical artifact. How do you not have any way of detecting where this thing is? What are you, the Joss Whedon version of Justice League where he couldn't find where Steppenwolf couldn't find the mother boxes? Where's my mother box? Oh, I'm sorry, I take that back. He found the one in Atlantis and the one in the Amazon, but he couldn't find the one on Earth. He had to interrogate people and stuff. Even when Cyborg showed up, he still couldn't detect it. Oh, you were born of the mother box. But I still have no idea where it's at.
What's next? The Loki from the MCU cannot find the Tesseract?
Yeah, he found that the minute he showed up in the Avengers movie. Yeah, because they were using that to open the portal that brought him there. Ooh, burns you to have come so close. Have the Tesseract, the power, unlimited power. A life for all mankind to see. Yeah, see, the only reason why he sort of allowed them to have the Tesseract for a while in that movie, because he was trying to get them to, he was trying to disband the Avengers, get them all bickering with each other. Yeah. So, okay, so yeah, why? Yeah, that is the biggest plot hole of this movie involving Loki and Odin. Why he can't find his own mask, and it's even a bigger plot hole when the baby comes out and he can't detect that now. And one reason I bring that up is because when I use the Justice League example, the Joss Whedon version, notice in Zack Snyder cut, he made it make sense because the only way he could find the mother boxes is when they were active. Plus, Steppenwolf wasn't even really looking for the mother boxes until they became active. He was looking for something else before then. So if you went by the logic of, well, maybe he can only find the mask when it's active, why didn't Loki show up at the party when Tim Avery put that mask on? When they were all dancing and stuff?
Sing?
Or again, when the baby was born. Okay, let me get to there. Oh boy. So of course at this Halloween party we just mentioned, Tim of course puts the mask on, and after seeing his own foot stretch out the car.
Now the way his foot moves reminds me of spaghetti.
Oh yeah. Uh-oh, spaghetti foot. And then he pops up. Like that.
And the way he looked when he popped up, he looked like he's constipated. It does. He has that constipated look, like he's uncomfortable.
I guess it's like a joke I heard years ago. Health locked up. No wonder they so constipated.
He started to make the live action Cat in the Hat more relaxed.
I will give him this much. At least he's not annoying like the Cat in the Hat, the Mike Myers one. Yeah, it's just the way the way the film writes for him to be doesn't really allow him to really do much there. Like, you know how Jim Carrey with the man, he was all bungy eyed and stuff like that. Like, whoa! And here, don't you just love Halloween? ID, please. And he pulls IV. ID, not IV.
And that IV came right out of his pocket.
And you mean this guy at the door wasn't amazed by this? Like, However, despite the bad effects with this version of the mask, he does liven up the party though. With all his different musical versions, they can't take my eyes off of you. Even the close-up shots that some people complain about. To be true. Yeah. And then after the wild party comes home, and I think you mentioned something about the cars dancing too during the party.
Yes. I know these cars look like they're from the 80s and 90s, but with some added hydraulics.
So like
even though that movie took place in 2005.
So like a Herbie the Love Bug reference.
In a way, sort of.
Yeah.
It was surprised me that they still use hydraulics for their cars today.
Some of them probably do. Yeah, some they might. I know they did that with that car in the Johnson family.
Yeah, hydraulics.
With Bow Wow.
I mean, if your car wasn't on a lease plan, would you or would you not put hydraulics in?
Probably not, because that's not the type of car to put that type of thing in, though.
Oh.
Yeah, I think that's basically like those really big cars that, and you have to have a certain kind of tire for that, too.
Oh. Like a tire with lots of rims.
Rim, as well as it's also built a certain way.
Yeah. Like you see people with these old cars, for example, that has the hydraulics in there. These really old cars.
Yep. Yeah, something like pretty much
that
like
you see in rap.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So
especially
yeah,
music videos.
I think it's used. I think that's where it's used a lot more in too.
And rap music videos.
For the speckle. Spectacle. Yes.
Yeah, the spectacle.
Yeah. I can't have to. It's like I got the mask on. It's spectacle. It's spectacle. Don't you just love the league? And I'm just gonna. I would. Speaking of that, I do gotta say I like it better with the Jim. Oh, one thing I like better with the Jim Carrey Batman is that he's bald, which you can see I'm bald now. Yeah, I like it better with a bald mask because the hair added on.
It looked plastic or rubber.
Yeah, it just didn't seem to work for me with the hair.
Yeah, it looked like it's made out of either plastic or rubber.
And then, of course, after this party, he comes home in sort of an I Love Lucy way. Honey, home. And this is something Double Toasted pointed out. Okay, so he's supposed to be running through the house to the bedroom. And he just has this look on his face. It's like I guess they Double Toasted said they must have told him let's just get a shot of you standing there. Jamie was probably like, okay, so now what? Oh, that's it. We just need the picture. And then they took it and just effects away.
He started to make Eddie Murphy's character from Pluto Nash more exciting.
Well, like I say, that had to do with that studio in this case there. Pluto Nash, I don't know what the excuse was there. Yeah, and well, once he gets to the bedroom, well, as Cuba Pete would put it, chicky boop. And we end up getting these guys. Now, what we watched, we didn't see that scene, but I think it's a deleted scene with the sperm there. Yeah, and they even did this reaction. Oh boy. So, yeah, that's the. So of course, then because of the mask, the boss saw this and everything at the party, and Tim gets promoted in order to make a cartoon off of it. So it kind of makes me wonder when this movie really took place, because I guess, I know it came out in 2004, I think 2004 or 5, I think.
Talking about Son of Mask?
Yeah.
Actually 2005.
5, yeah.
It was originally supposed to be released in 2004, but I think I pushed back a bit.
Matter of fact, it was originally supposed to be like, I say, a year or two after the first movie but yeah, they kept going back and forth with that, sort of like when they tried to make the sequel to Space Jam. However, oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, but what I meant about the time period, despite the year it comes out, I'm just wondering, was this supposed to be the origin of the Mask cartoon? Think about it. Look, that we got after the live action first movie. It's the Mask. Yeah, it does make you wonder.
I know Jim Carrey didn't provide his voice in the animated series.
Oh yeah, but I know that's who it was based off of, his version of the character.
They would have paid him more if he did do it.
Yeah. So, just as Tim gets this promotion to work on the cartoon, and he's trying to look for the mask, because Otis had hit it. His wife reveals that she is pregnant. And of course, you get a montage of them going through the different stuff with the pregnancy and all that, which involves her throwing up bubbles. Here, I guess we know what Bubblina will be like when she grows up and gets pregnant.
Very funny.
They wonder how her future beau would react to that there.
Like, huh?
I guess whoever becomes the king of Coralana with her, since of course she'd probably be the next queen there.
That's it.
However, then of course, how there's the cravings that the pickles and ice cream and stuff like that. At least the pickles and ice cream is edible. How do you eat silly string on a cracker?
I don't get it.
That's like trying to eat paper. And yeah, I know I have a toy in the other room that I call Paper Eater, but that's a monster machine, not a human being. No.
I prefer squeezed cheese and either crackers or Cheetos.
Oh yeah.
Or dip Cheetos in Cheese Whiz. If I have a strange craving.
Yeah, at least you can eat that.
Yeah. Heck, pretzels and cheese.
Or I guess if you had to kind of crave it, I guess if you ate like my boy Quintus, you might be eating Cheetos and chocolate pudding.
What's next? Hot Cheetos and chocolate pudding?
You never know. You never know. He did talk me into eating Pringles and ice cream once though. So then the baby is born and named Alvy, and this angers Odin. Loki! And he possesses a shopkeeper that Loki just so happens to be at his shop looking for the mask and throwing stuff around. And let's just say Odin inside that shopkeeper looks really weird. It's funny. You do get a laugh. You do get a laugh out of it. I laughed at it, but it is freaking weird though. Like find the mask and find the baby, and you will find the mask. Oh. And he had like two different color eyes and everything. Cause I think Odin only had like one of his eyes was out. So I guess one eye was the color that Odin's eye was, and the other was the original color of the shopkeeper. Sort of like Homura in that Sayuki anime. So and it also, and like I mentioned before, I don't like Boondocks. But one of my coworkers showed me this clip. Well, actually, he was showing several employees. I just so happened to be in the break room at the moment, so we all kind of got around. We looked at what he had to show us, and it was a clip. And so this possession reminds me of the clip he showed us, where the grandpa in Boondocks, played by John Witherspoon, was doing number 2, and all of a sudden that lawyer guy was possessed and attacked Grandpa while he was in the middle of his business. Yeah. And Grandpa was like, yes! And thrashing the bathroom and everything. And then of course they had this music play when the two boys came in to save Grandpa. Okay. That is the worst time to get attacked there. So of course, and yeah, like I mentioned with why Loki can't find his man, how does he not detect what his baby is? And Odin even knows this baby's born. Oh boy. So and also there's a lack of communication in some of the scenes. It's not really big, but if you pay attention, you'll notice. Like with Tim and his wife, like with the when she said she wanted a baby, but he did eventually tell her, about the whole thing of wanting to move up, and now he's moved up. They have their baby. So now Tim's trying to look for the mask that because Otis had hid it, so he don't know where Otis hid it at though, and he's like, I know I've asked you about 1,000 times, but where's that mask? He's like, why do you need it? Oh yeah. Dude, as Berlizzi would say, stop lying. You know why you need that mask. Just tell your wife the truth. And Robert, the genie,
now you have a mask and you were looking for it.
I would go and tell you, because especially you asked it several times.
Yeah, where's the mask?
What is the big deal? You put on the mask at the party, and your boss want you to make a cartoon off of it. What is the? Okay, maybe the part of the mask making him turn like spitting and stuff like that. of course, you'll see that later. But even if that was hard to believe right now, I mean, the fact your boss wants to make a cartoon off of it. What's gonna happen if you tell her that? What is she? Why? You think she's gonna get mad about that? Oh,
it's like your wife just trying to hide her mermaid identity to her husband.
Oh, the splash scenario.
Yeah, just hide. Like, don't go in there, please.
Mm. Oh, trust me, if they got to the point of marriage, oh, trust me, it's gonna get found out. matter of fact, no, it get found out before then, because remember Madison, when she decided, okay, yeah, we can get married. Let me tell. Okay, since we're gonna get married, I need to tell you something then. So yeah, she knew she wasn't gonna keep that secret if she gonna be married to him. she knew that right off. So yeah, if I'm gonna be with him, yeah, I better go and tell him. Cause at least that'd be some protection for me. So yeah, and then also apparently Otis hid it in his doghouse. The new dog, because they put him in an outdoor doghouse. Because before the baby was born, he had this big room for the dog, but now it's the baby room, so Otis is outside in a regular doghouse. And the mask is there. Now, of course, there is a little bit later, Otis does bury it, but he didn't bury. But at the time Tim was looking for it, he still had it in the doghouse. Tim knew that Otis had the mask, so why didn't he search the doghouse?
I guess he didn't think that.
He would have found that mask.
Heck, it won't surprise me if the mask was hidden in the toilet.
Oh nah, he'd be lost that mask. unless he gets some really good sterilizing. Well, it is. Well, then again, it's magic. Not completely sure how that would work. Yeah, let's just be glad it wasn't. That's too much. That's gonna make my brain pop out my head. Like Beast Boy and Cyborg. So we did. So of course later, baby's grown a little bit, probably getting close to his first year.
And then we got a scene of a balloon baby,
which made the critics scream. Boom! Like, ah! And then when he screamed the second time, the scream was heard all the way down in the bowels of hell. That's the sound my movie's been found. And he disappears like a fiery Willy Wonka. And yeah, I gotta agree with the critic on that, and probably several other critics may have said this. That CGI baby is very creepy. He's not not saying Freddy Krueger scary, but he's creepy though. It's just.
It doesn't look too real.
Yeah, especially, when they have to cut to him before he does something, some special effect.
We do see the comparisons between the real baby and the CGI baby.
Oof. That's just... So then we get a montage of, how when you first have your baby, your baby's first few years, stuff like that or so, there's going to be those moments, that's why you have to have a baby monitor, where you're going to be waking up at, not just during the day, but also at night, midnight. So like what Michael Cowell pointed out, my wife and kids to Junior, like, why is it, like, well, see, the thing, well, you know why? Because he can't tell time. Away. Oh, boy. So, then, but suddenly the wife has to go out of town, though, for a special job in New York. Not sure why, but okay. And Tim has to be left home with the baby, and he tries, at first he's like, well, I gotta be at home, Oh, well, that's okay. I'll just put Chad on the project. No, I just had to be at home. I can still work on the project. Dude, it almost make me think of the Click scenario.
Yeah. And that's before Click.
Oh, yes. Oh, maybe Click. Yeah. And I think it was worse with Click, and they didn't even have a green mask. But yeah, what is it with the whole thing of in movies, the okay, you have your husband and your wife and a baby, or just kids in general, and something happens where one parent has to go out of town for something and the other is left home with them. Why? Mostly in the guy's position, and I put it this way because in movies it's always most of the time it's like this. Because notice, hubby's at work, wifey at home with the baby, no problem. Ain't no problem. Ain't no thing but a chicken wings. But okay, the wife leaves out of town, and so no, honey, take him. No, you take him. And yeah, it's like, dude. Okay, I get it. Especially in this day time, nowadays. Everybody working. Husbands working, wives working. Okay, I get it. But in the real world, trust me, you mean to tell me you couldn't have some type of arrangement for somebody to look after your baby when you're at work, since if wifey's out of town? Especially you introduced to us neighbors with kids that you know really well. And a lady named Betty. Yeah, because I know that's what we would have. I mean, both of us working at Kroger. Yeah, we gotta have somebody to look after when we're both out of the house. Because I mean, we gotta eat, all of us, including especially the baby. Oh boy. Anywho, so Loki is searching every house for this baby because for some reason he doesn't have a magical tracker.
He just shapes shit.
You mean? Oh yeah. You mean to tell me he couldn't at least morph up a GPS or something, or a tracking system? You're the baby of the mass. Turn left in 2 miles. So one of the first disguise that he does makes me think of if you put the Micro Machine guy in a blender with Pee Wee Herman, where he's a vacuum salesman there. So yeah, imagine Pee Wee Herman talking like the Micro Machine guy. Today's secret word is suck. Oh boy!
To this movie,
or at least that scene.
Yeah.
Ooh. So then of course Tim's trying to get his drawings together, which another example of why don't you have someone, because then you could be doing this at your job and somebody could be watching the baby for you.
Yeah.
So then you could get your pitch together.
Yeah. He could just do this on the job. Right,
because I mean you've been trying to get this promotion for so long. I mean, okay, I'm just saying, you gotta work it out some kind of way, man. You either now some probably would want to say, well, he could have just left Chad and tried to just stay home with the baby. I guess if he couldn't find nobody, he would. But yeah, the movie clearly states that. Well, okay, it clearly shows us that there are people that could have helped him out.
I bet that Chad person don't have kids. That's why he's fully available.
That, and also another thing, he didn't come out and say it, but if you look at his facial expressions when he said, "I put Chad on it," he kind of has a smug look on his face.
Yeah.
Like just like that.
Yes.
Wow, Chad. Wow, even Chad's smug look is getting creepy. So, yeah. So in order to keep his baby entertained, he puts him in front of the TV, which Okay. Yeah, here's the thing, guys. I know that now there are programmings for small babies. A lot of them are on Nick Jr. and PBS. However, this is one reason why the mom was like, "Don't just sit them in front of the TV," as in, just that's all you do, and they just sitting there for hours and hours, even to the point where he's asleep at night and the baby's still in front of the TV. You mean tell me you didn't put the baby to bed?
He just sit there?
Seriously?
What? That's bad parenting.
And then he's gonna grow up and think like, okay, I can sit up here and watch TV all night.
And I know his mind will fall. I know he will fall asleep at some point.
Yeah.
As he gets older.
Yeah, I think it's really. I like watching programming too, but I mean,
you need to sleep.
Yeah, you gotta have a balance too, and not to mention, as a kid, there ain't no way in the world my folks would have left me in front of that. Like they was like, okay, Gabe, it's time for bed now.
Or it's time to go outside and play.
Oh yeah, I did do that.
Yeah, go outside and play.
Mm-hmm. Bicycle riding, we play baseball in the front yard. That's why our neighbors got so many baseballs in their yard.
Yes.
Y'all know when you play baseball in the neighborhood, that ball's gonna go over the fence if you hit it too hard. So, yeah, that's like so. But yeah, another thing, what I gotta say about this, you put them in front of the TV and you're just like, oh, cartoon, there, watch. Sort of like this daycare. Christina and I went in one time. And while we were there, I noticed, like, you had little babies at this daycare. Mm-hmm. Guess what they had on the TV for them to watch? The SpongeBob first movie, which is not the television series, but the movie that's rated PG. And the first thing I noticed on the screen at the time I was there, that the babies were seeing on TV, you left one damning piece of evidence on the crime scene.
What?
Well, I could probably guess what they're gonna go home and tell their mom they saw. Mom, Dad, they left a damning piece of evidence. Watch your mouth.
It'll be worse if you viewed Family Guy to the baby.
Oh Lord, no. No. That's a death sentence there for viewing for your kids.
Yeah.
No.
No wonder they have a warning.
That's why I say, yeah. Oh, just because cartoon, yeah, monitor what your kids are watching, parents, especially as babies, because that is the most crucial of a kid being exposed to the TV. That is the most crucial because they're absorbing more than the most than ever. especially like some of the stuff that he watches in the movie, like the Flintstones were bam, bam, bam. And with those mass powers, he's doing what he sees on there. Bam, bam, bam. There's even a scene where he's watching Transformers Armada, which, don't get me wrong, Transformers, very cool, got some really cool shows. G1 Transformers, Beast Wars, Beast Machines, Armada, all that. They are cool to watch. But I would never put a baby in front of that, though. Because that is not the appropriate age for watching Transformers. You don't need to have a baby in front of that. Transformers. Because then they'll be trying to imitate the explosions and stuff. Or imitate Starscream getting blasted by Megatron. Megatron! So, yeah. Like I say, the best programming for when they're babies, and I still say you supervise it and also keep a limit on how much they see. Nick Jr. and PBS.
2 channels.
Right. And any or if there's any other, because they got other stuff, like on I'm not sure exactly, but I know that there's probably some other stuff added, stations, stuff like that.
Or if you're not close to a TV, show them YouTube Kids.
Exactly. Yes.
Yes.
But
not the general. But that's not the general YouTube channel until they reach a certain age, like 13 or 14.
That and also again monitor what they're seeing too. And believe me, growing up, And to say, even, I tell you, like my granny say with the apple, I don't eat because I want to, because it's good for me. They didn't always feel like it, but even my folks, my grandparents and my mother would sit in and watch things, watch what I was watching on TV. Okay, granted, most of the time I'd be calling them in there to see it, but still, they knew they were there. No, why? Even with SpongeBob. Oh, trust me, we watched a lot of SpongeBob together. Yeah. So, oh boy. Then of course, yeah, and the baby, of course, starting to perform a lot of the stuff he's seeing, which is scaring Tim and driving him crazy, but not as scary as Otis with that mask and turning this movie into Tom and Jerry. Or as Double Toasted say, Wile E. Coyote and Roadrunner mixed with that dog from the Wacky Racist cartoon. You know, the one that go
Smirk.
Yeah. So, however, none of that. However, we get something even scarier when Loki shows up dressed as a Girl Scout at one of his houses. Would you like some dinglets? That was the part that made the critic take the disc out, throw it on the floor, and then he's behind the closet, and you hear and called for Santa Christ. So, to quote Lord of the Rings. So eventually, of course, Loki does arrive at the right house, and we get But before he gets there, we get the grossest scene of this movie involving the baby changing his diaper. And why is he's like, well, okay, well, technically diaper changing would be kind of gross. Oh no, this is not like in the real world. This baby is the pee from this baby is not like what you would see from a real life baby. This is more like someone older.
Oof.
It's like
it almost looked like Gatorade.
Oof. As Steve Harvey say no, when you a baby, they don't even call it that. They call it TT. Hey, little baby TT, little baby TT. I done changed my son that, but he this little wing of this swing. Oh boy, you so crazy. It don't even burn or nothing, cause it's just milk and a little water. You know, help them sleep better and everything. Yeah. Ooh, I don't know what was on their mind when they put that scene in there. So, and then, so yeah, the grossest scene of course, and with Loki's disguise, he comes dressed up like a FedEx guy, looking as if he's Barney from Viva Las Vegas. The actor who played Barney in that movie, because that Barney was real tall. Now imagine him dressed up like a FedEx guy.
Oh, ain't got himself a tan.
Hey, friend, I gotta roll as Loki in a FedEx costume. By the way, what's a FedEx? Well, I'll find out. By the way, I got your pimples, Barney. So Loki, of course, goes after Tim and the baby. Tim and the baby, pursuing after them, of course. Odin interrupts by possessing Tim and taking away Loki's powers, which kind of makes me imagine the scene from He's like, Father, I've destroyed all of Jotunheim, and that is why you are also banished. I take from you your powers. Oh, wait, what? And I cast you out. Son of a ice giant. And of course, and yeah, you remember how I criticized how Loki couldn't seem to find at first couldn't locate his mask or the baby until now? Odin is possessing Tim Avery, who's holding the baby, and you mean to tell me Odin can't detect that that's the baby right there in Tim's hands while he's talking? And Odin even knows that this baby is born? I have no words for that one there. And then, of course, later Tim gets fired from his job, which is a pretty sad scene of the movie that does give you a really sympathetic moment for it as well. That the baby does feel bad for what's happened to Tim, and a hug. And you just see, and then you see scenes of, you know, sweet Kodak moments of him and the baby bathing him.
He'll be too. That was one of us.
Oh, obviously. Yep. That will be in a couple of years. well, the baby part though. I'm not gonna. I don't want to lose my job though. So you know what I mean? No. Oh no, not that part.
I'll be devastated.
No, but the sweet baby part.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, and one thing, and also about the firing too, seemed like they would have just put him like back as Torpedo Turtle. The firing him seemed really kind of drastic there. I don't think that really was right for this situation. But movie's got a movie. Later, of course, Loki performs the ritual to summon Odin and beg for his powers back, showing him the baby and even scolding Odin for interrupting him. Yeah, there's a funny scene where he slaps Odin's spirit there. Will you stop lecturing me for 2 minutes and let me talk? So of course, Loki does get his powers back and everything, and then he kidnaps the baby, but being that he's Loki, the god of mischief, he's gotta mess with Tim some before he leaves by disguising himself as both his wife and putting his face on the baby. Hey, honey, is that you? No, you idiot. Or the baby. Guess who? Oh boy, and of course, one of the funniest things about with the baby thing, when with the critics review of that there is his reaction to not only that baby, but also he mentioned about what if you played that side by side with the baby from Junior. But, oh, here it is. No, you idiot. No. Okay, I don't want to get demonetized there. Just going to the part where the critics screaming. Okay, here we go. Wow, that heart attack medicine looks a lot like Mike and Ike's.
Or Red.
Oh, those tamale candies. Wow.
What's next, M&M's?
Maybe. Yeah, that would be interesting medicine. Look like M&M's. So of course after that, we get a little nod to let's see, what was it? Oh yes, Tim. Oh yeah, he gets his power back, and of course he has to go get the mask back from Otis in order to face Loki one-on-one, and with sort of a little nod to Jamie Kennedy, who they recently, with meeting other people like on his page and stuff like that. Oh yeah, the car that they have. Yeah, he recently just put for his Patreons to see that he found the car from the movie. Yeah, so oh yeah, it's another thing to check out there. And in the climax of this movie, I'm not gonna lie, it is very humorous, especially with the car chase and then the wrestling match. Cause yeah, that with the car going on the road and stuff like that, and the wrestling match is where it really comes full play. And especially one scene, and Loki said, "Let there be a brick wall," and there was.
Ouch.
Sort of like the face that and then of course you have to have a fart joke and stink like a skunk where he farts in Loki's face, sort of like what Adam Sandler did to his boss in Click.
Ouch.
What? Megan! Oh, I forgot what name he called. His boss called out. But
It might have been Stacy, I guess.
Stacy! Oh boy. So eventually, they find out they're evenly matched, and well, it comes down to the baby having to choose between Loki or Tim. And Tim takes off the mask, giving a very sincere speech, which is very touching, by the way, of how, he just, how he honestly felt through the course of the movie, like, I'm sorry, I just want to say, at first, I know I was kind of a jerk because I didn't think I was ready to be a father, but you helped me grow up, Albie. And now I want to do the same for you and return the favor by helping you grow up. Yeah, so yeah, it's a real touching scene. And then some people wonder why why so much focus was with the dad instead of the mother. I think the critic made a joke on that. I'm just the mother, so I have no say in this. Well, you gotta look at it like this. See, at the beginning of the movie, the mother has pretty well bonded with the baby when the baby first arrived and everything, obviously. So now the mother didn't have any problem bonding with the baby, but it was the dad that was having to come to terms with, I'm a father. So that's why you get that touching scene with him. Yeah. And then of course, Loki goes from being very sad about this to being angry like Ramses in The Prince of Egypt. Except in The Prince of Egypt, it was a lot more dramatic and, tensing. And in Loki's case, yeah, well, Loki decides to pretty much pull a Thor in this. You want me to put the hammer down? Where's Cap's shield when you need it? And just when it seems like it's all over for Tim, Odin arrives to punish Loki, but Tim convinces Odin, I said Odie by mistake, Odin to treat Loki better and he returns the mask to them. And of course, come on, son, let's go home. Hey, maybe I can help you patch things up with Mom. Don't push it. And Tim finally makes this great cartoon show about a baby and a dog sibling rivalry. And gets his job back, of course.
I bet off screen he begged to get his job back, and he also showed him the pitch off screen. He begged.
Probably so, and
yeah,
I would also say maybe his wife may have had a hand in it.
Yeah.
I mean, she may have possibly, and they probably explained about everything that happened to them. That probably was a long conversation off screen. But they're all back, and well, and of course they watch their new cartoon together, and baby winks at the camera, hinting that another baby might be on the way. And one thing I gotta say before the movie ends, that last scene of both Tim, his wife, and the baby together, and the dog, they had to reshoot that several times because there were times when the baby looked off the wrong direction. There was when the dog did something off that was not that they didn't want to do. It, yeah, because that mainly was the issues with the multiple takes trying to get the dog and the baby right. Mm. Yeah, and of course that was the movie. Yeah, so. It's definitely a major guilty pleasure, but it does have its flaws a lot and major criticisms, as I mentioned, and other critics have mentioned, probably a lot more than I have mentioned. But to us, it's despite the flaws, it's a guilty pleasure like Good Burger. Yeah. What do you think?
Like you mentioned before, it is a guilty pleasure for some people, as well as it might gather a cult following like the first Mask movie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And we all know that the first Mask movie is always a classic. I think Double Toasted mentioned that Son of the Mask had a budget that was like over $100, and they made like $50 million back. Like $50 million.
Oh, you're talking about the first movie?
Talking about the second film, Son of the Mask.
Oh, yeah. I think
they made $50 million back.
I think they were saying that it was something million to make the film.
I mentioned over $100 million.
Oh, 100. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, that's why I meant over.
I'm about to say.
Not just $100 million, not just $100.
That'd be a cheap film.
Yeah, it'll be like a masked film on a budget.
Be like something on YouTube then.
Yeah, it only costs like over $100 million to make and produce, but they only make $50 million back. It makes you wonder, where did the other $50 million go? To the homeless?
Well, the only problem is they didn't get the other half.
Ooh,
that's if they had got it, maybe they would have, and then the issue of making their profit back wouldn't be an issue.
Yeah. I guess the reason why it bombed because it was poorly written, somewhat poorly acted, and the special effects are scary, especially when it's viewed to children.
Yeah, with the baby, especially the baby.
Yes.
You got some with the dog. Yeah, the dog is kind of creepy, but that baby is really where it comes from. Because I mean, I could kind of overlook with the dog CGI. Because okay, he's a wacky green-haired dog.
It doesn't have the same charm as the original Mask movie. With Jim Carrey, he looks more relaxed, and his face look real. But when you get Son of the Mask, his face look all plastic. Even his hair look all plastic. And it's like he's like deep down inside, he's not enjoying this. And he's starting to make the live action cat hat more relaxed than the mask from Son of the Mask.
Well, it's like I probably mentioned earlier with Jamie Kennedy states in his in what he has to say about his experience with this movie along with the director. Probably, like I say, he had a different. There was a different way because they acted. I think Jamie even mentioned that it was like, okay, well, yeah, we'll let you be able to do some of your thing in the script. And originally they were going to go for a PG-13 movie like the first Mask, but then we're going to market it to the kids with the baby and the dog, and they actually had a lot of stuff that was written a lot differently from what we got in the final cut that got changed and taken out.
I bet it won't surprise me if Jamie Kennedy have regrets about doing Son of the Mask.
Oh, you guys will hear all about that when you see their videos. The link, just a reminder, the link is in the description, in the description box to hear all what they got to say about Son of the Mask, both Jamie Kennedy and the director.
I know after celebrities do a bad movie or so, they have regrets.
Some of them, yeah. Just all depends on the movie.
Like, what have I put myself into?
Yep.
But
So,
they find something to redeem themselves one of these days. Take Ryan Reynolds, for example, with Green Lantern.
oh yeah,
He redeemed himself.
not Green Lantern, and also the crappy Deadpool and Wolverine Origins.
Yeah.
Yeah, he went back and fixed that real quick.
Yeah.
He said, "Oh no, that's not Deadpool." He said, "Well, that's what we could do." Well, forget what y'all got wrote. I know what the character is. So I got my check. I'm gonna get me some supporters here, and we're gonna show y'all how to make Deadpool. Yeah, and another good thing that worked in Ryan Reynolds' favor was that Days of Future Past movie, changing the timeline. So that's probably, so yeah, you could say that the time travel affected Deadpool. And then probably why, and maybe Deadpool saw the time stream, and that's why he said, we're taking you to see the professor. McAvoy or Stewart, these timelines get really confusing. Yeah. So,
Same goes with time travel in general.
oh, in most every film, yeah.
That's why it only exists in science fiction, but not the real world.
And even in science fiction, it has its drawbacks.
Yeah, when it comes to time travel.
So you definitely would not want to try that in the real world at all.
Heck, it wouldn't surprise me if people time traveled in their dreams.
Well,
When they sleep.
well, you can do anything in your dream. You got until you wake up. Yep. As SpongeBob told Patrick, it's a dream, Patrick. You can do anything you want. Yep. I mean, anything. I could be a skyscraper, or a million of me. Huh? Yep. Oh shoot, that was my last quarter.
There are some things it should just stay in the dream, but it should just stay in the dream, but not in reality.
Yes.
Some things in your dream.
Yes. Oh, trust me, I've seen quite a few things in dreams that I am so glad it's not in the real world.
Yeah. Heck, sometimes dreams can be hard to remember after days pass.
Well, that's one advantage for the dreams that you don't want to happen in the real world.
Yeah.
Forgetting that.
Yeah.
Forgetting those.
As the days go by.
Yep. Oh boy.
Yeah. Even when you wake up, you don't remember your dream.
Sometimes it just depends on your mindset.
You're just out.
It depends on your mindset when you wake up.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's some dreams I actually want to remember, and I be having a hard time trying to search trying to bring them up, trying to Google search them in my head.
Hey, imagine somebody bring a video camera or an app or a camera from the real world into their dream. They were holding the camera or camcorder while they sleep.
And let me guess, in the dream they're filming the dream.
And they would show it to people. And this is why I dreamt last night.
And it'd be amazing if what was in the dream actually projected on that TV. Like,
you dreamed this?
how did you get that?
Well, I fell asleep holding my camera or camcorder on my phone. I fell asleep.
You know how much shock they would be in?
Yeah.
They'd be in as much shock as this one dream I once had, where I was hanging out with Corbin Blue in the dream. He was doing one of his music videos, and we was chilling, hanging out and stuff on the set. And I said, so after everything was done, I said, hey, what's your number, man? We can, hang, maybe we can hang out some more later. And he was just about to tell me, and then I woke up. I was telling somebody about that on my job, and they said, well, man, imagine if you actually got the phone number and then woke up, remembered the phone number, wrote it down, and then you called the number, and it actually was Corbin Blue's number. They're like, how did you get this number? You told me in a dream. That reaction would probably be the opening of a new horror movie right now. Do 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 pew.
Looked like I came up with a possible screenplay about somebody would film or take picture of their own dream. A possible screenplay that somebody might get.
You never know.
Yeah.
Maybe that or maybe since you came up with it, there might maybe you could work it into Bubbling if you want.
All depends on how. It all depends on would it fit in one of the issues.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe say. Yeah, maybe an issue where Melissa's trying to remember the dreams of her and Chris. So she pressed a camcorder.
Well, she is magical.
Yeah, maybe she might try that.
Well,
and maybe something, and just at the same time something result of that, maybe like something dark result of that.
Oh.
They say be careful what you dream.
Yeah.
Like Matt told the Izzy and Digimon when he said, "Didn't I see this guy in my nightmares? I wish you'd be more careful what you dream." Ooh. that might, you never know. Never. So anything else? Yeah.
Even though Son the Mask is not a good movie, it's still enjoyable for some people.
It's a guilty pleasure.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's one reason why the copy we have was tagged on with the Mask.
Yeah, I remember we got the first Mask movie as just a standalone disc one time.
Oh yeah. Because then the only way we was able to get Son of the Mask was that combo pack.
Yeah, the double feature pack.
Yep. Oh yeah, so yeah, that's probably if you're interested in a guilty pleasure of this sequel, that's the best way I would recommend you getting it, is in a combo pack, so you can still have the original movie along with it.
Yeah.
That way you can have both of them.
It might be hard to find in the store, but you may have to get it online somewhere.
Possibly.
Yeah. If your store don't have it.
Yep. So I guess that's
yeah.
Well, that's all I got to say there.
Yeah, that's all I have to say too.
Well, I guess to say this is the part where we jam. This is the part where you like, subscribe, and buy some of our comics, and support us on Patreon so we can make more of this footage and keep it coming. And with the comic books there. So support us on Patreon. So yeah, like, share, subscribe, buy comics, and support us on Patreon. Yeah. So, and we will see y'all in the next video. Next Royal Talk, of course, will be near Halloween. Should be if not on the Halloween day, it will be probably the weekend leading up to it there, since Halloween's on a Monday. So yeah, like I said, but it will be no later than Halloween. It'll be around that weekend, either on Halloween or that weekend leading up to it. So you'll be able to enjoy it for Halloween. But until then, we will see you guys later.
Bye, everyone.
See you later. And now I guess I say chicky boop, chicky boop, chicky boop.